Do you often compare yourself to others with who others are or with what others have? Do you allow this comparison to become a life-defining yardstick? Have you ever wondered why you do this or when will this all stop? Welcome to the Alpha Life Project, where the focus is on all things you, on establishing awareness, on enabling analysis and empowering action so that you can upgrade your life. You just have one life, right? May as well upgrade it and make it your Alpha Life. This is Bala, your fellow Alpha Lifer and host, and it's a wonderful, wonderful time for all of us to live our Alpha Life. Today's topic of discussion is comparisons, the best way to foster discontentment. Last topic was all about enough and on when enough will be enough. We had discussed about how people sometimes make their lives all about keeping up with the Jonases. Remember? Today we deep dive into the same. Today we live in a social media's world. It's a big enabler, by the way. It enables you to keep in touch with others, to find others, to know about and learn new things in life. It enables you to travel the entire world without moving an inch. You can look at anyone's life while sitting where you are. But sadly, it also enables you to constantly compare how your life is vis-a-vis others' lives. You're always wondering how someone has it all sorted out for them, while here you are, struggling away to no glory. This is a big problem today. It has assumed pandemic proportions, this comparing business. So what is this comparison? It's by the way nothing new in our lives. It's existed since times immemorial. It is deeply coded into our DNA. It's that deeply coded. Hence it is very important to make a very clear demarcation right at the beginning. Most people won't be able to stop this from happening. Remember that. The best way to deal with this is to learn how to do this in a manner that is beneficial. Our ancestors, they used this comparison to increase their chances of survival. They would use this as a feedback loop, something to learn from. Those were times where physical safety was at stake, pure survival was at stake. Chances of getting killed by a wild animal every now and then was very, very common, right? The ones who survived, their methods were sought after. People used to exchange notes with them, compare their own methods with the survivors' methods, and learn. This was a feedback loop, a very, very effective feedback loop. Those were also times when building blocks of civilization and society were being laid down. It was very important to collect learnings from all sides and pass them on. And hence comparison was a very important feedback loop. This also laid the foundation of referral, constantly referring to successful habits, learning from successful people, learning to increase your chances of survival. This, by the way, went on and on till those times when the world even faced huge issues, medical pandemics. When someone didn't know what to do, they would refer to those once successful learnings and benefit from them. It was all good till that time. While survival became a given for most of the world's population, this aspect of referring didn't stop. Those dangerous times are long past for most of us, but this habit of comparing, it's only increased. Apparently, seeking for approval never went out of fashion. Cut to today's context, people are still sharing their lives and learnings from their own experiences with others. Whether this is to feel better about their own lives or whether to make others' lives feel better. Either ways, people love to share, right? And those who are receiving, they're also there. But why they are receiving, I think that entire context may have been lost somewhere or the other. We are in a culture of chasing coolness after all. Whatever is cool outside, you want to bring it into your own life. You want to look cool in life. Cool, man, cool. That's the way today. It's been like this for a long time now. And hence comparisons rule the roost. There are broadly two types of comparisons. One is comparing with others. This is called other referral or object referral. This is the most usual form. When you compare who you are, where you are, what you have with who others are, where they are in their life, what do they have in their life. This kind of comparison, it fuels the incompletions that you have in your life. It makes it flare up, all those incompletions. This is basically constantly wanting proof from the external world for your own worthiness. And you tend to define yourself by external objects, including other people. This kind of thinking makes you see the so-called good stuff in other people's lives and compare it with the so-called bad stuff in your life. You see where we are going with this? Think deeply about this. You always compare your weaknesses to someone else's strengths. You compare what's happening behind the scenes in your life to what someone else is showing outward. You have no idea, by the way, what's happening behind the scenes for them. You're only comparing with what they are showing to you. Isn't that what social media is also all about? While comparing journeys, you compare your starting point to someone else's middle or end point in their journey. You see things with a microscope. Something which is a small part of someone else's life is made so big in your mind, and that is compared with something very relevant but not happening in your life. The other person's part of life is very small. This part of your life is very big. Where is the scope of comparison? But you still end up doing that. Think about all of this and how it links back to your life. You do all of this, right? Interesting stuff is, you never compare with the absolute best in that category. Let's say you are comparing the money that you have with what money someone else has. You would never compare yourself with the Jeff Bezos or the Bill Gates of the world, right? You would always compare only with someone in your extended circle, someone whom you know, slightly or deeply. And then you figure out explanations on how the other person had it all easy or didn't deserve all this, and how difficult you are having it and how you deserve it more. How about that? Also, you never compare every aspect with one single person. Every aspect of your life with every aspect of another person's life. You will always take up different aspects of different people and compare yourself. So one person will become a frame of reference for work success, another for happiness from relationships, someone else for love. Some other person becomes the reference point for, let's say, size of their house, some other person for monetary success, someone for knowledge, and so on and so forth. Think about it. Try and see what you are doing to yourself here. This comparing surely is a nasty business. But you do all of this, don't you? But understand this. This other referral leads you to want a small bit of others' lives in your life also. Different aspects of their lives. Imagine if you were to take these so-called best parts of others' lives, just copy that and paste it over that corresponding part of your own life. And imagine that you were able to do this for your entire life, all parts of your life. Where would that lead you? An ideal life? Or becoming Frankenstein's monster? Think about it. Remember, wanting bits and pieces of others' life, it just doesn't work. It leads to a lot of envy, jealousy, inferiority, shame, competitiveness. All these negative emotions, they all come from here. The other type of comparison is when you compare with yourself, which is called self-referral. But this is again with a twist. You may be surprised, but this also happens quite a lot. In this, you compare your current self, who you are, what you have, with your ideal self. The ideal self is just an image, how you want yourself to be. It is usually a future image of your own self, the way you see yourself, ideally. Needless to say, the self-image is the most difficult, most unrealistic and idealistic form that you can imagine for yourself. And hence, it is impossible to match up to any aspect of this ideal self-image. this leads to a huge level of discontent, right? Sometimes this ideal self-image, it's a patchwork of a lot of things. Like, that Frankenstein's monster that we referred to earlier. It's really tough. The danger of comparing your realistic self, your current self, to your unrealistic or idealistic self is super discontent. You keep thinking about how difficult it is to reach there. You are frustrated. Your ideal self always seems to be out of reach for you, whatever you do in your life. You seem to be on a treadmill, always running but never getting there. This referring constantly, this self-referring to your ideal self leads to a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, a lot of despair. Whichever form this comparison takes in your life, it could be, by the way, either or and. Whichever form it takes, it is the best way to foster discontentment in your life. You are free, by the way, to continue with comparisons as long as that is your objective. That is to feel constantly discontent with yourself and your own life. Carry on with it if that is what you want to feel in life. Comparison is all about the lens that you wear, that you choose to wear while viewing people and situations around you. So you would wonder, what should one do about comparisons, right? The easiest answer is to drop it completely. It's also the most difficult option. It's so deeply encoded in our DNA. Eventually you will need to drop it someday. Get this. Eventually you will. And you will drop it. People apparently do this as they get older because they eventually realize the futility of it after doing it for decades. But no one stops you from dropping all your comparisons when you are younger also. Drop it and free up all the energy that you spend on these comparisons. It just doesn't work for you. If you're not able to drop it, it's okay. But then you may as well benefit from it, right? So cut directly to the founding reason of comparison. This also, this also has a very positive reason behind it. The positive reason is to become really, really better, to make yourself truly better. That is the founding reason for comparison. So instead of wanting what others have, try to understand how they got there. Learn that particularly. Don't compare points in life. See how the journey was and try to learn from it. So if someone is super successful at their job, at their work, don't just compare their work to yours and the designations therein. Try to learn how they got there. Another way to effectively manage comparisons is compare fully or don't compare at all. Everyone has the habit of comparing only one small bit of their life with one small bit of someone else's life. And they do this multiple times with multiple people. Remember Frankenstein's monster that we spoke about earlier? You don't want to be one, right? So, if you were to compare someone's professional success or how much money they have, also compare all the other aspects of their life to all aspects of your life, especially how they reached that particular point. Maybe the other person worked much harder than you did to back that promotion. Maybe the other person spends more time in their relationships than you do. This comparing fully is a very effective manner to get rid of comparisons. Because once you know that comparing partially is incorrect, whenever any comparing comes up, you try and look at the whole picture and then you realize that there is much more than what you choose to see always. Another way to deal with this is to ask yourself always, if you constantly keep comparing, are you leaving any scope for authenticity in your life? For you to become the person only you can become? Do you leave yourself any scope for this? Ask this. And the one thing that always works is to accept yourself the way you are. This acceptance is always a starting point when you are on the road to contentment. Skipping this stop leads you far away from contentment. It leads you into the land of discontentment. It's almost always a lack of acceptance that makes you compare yourself with others in the first place and get affected by that. Remember that, underline that. So, accepting who you are and what you have and building upon it is a better strategy any day. Boosting your self-image artificially is not the answer. Accepting it for what it is and for who you are is what matters. Tell yourself that you're enough. We covered this in one of the earlier episodes, right? Bring in self-referral with some moderation. This is another way to deal with this. It is rightly said that when you compete with others, you become bitter. But when you compete with yourself, you become better. So you bring in self-referral, but with a twist. Bring in self-referral with who you were, not with who you ideally want to be. See how you are improving and developing vis-a-vis who you were, and this will encourage you to become all the better. These are just some ways to deal with this. Let's watch a movie like we always do. Just suppose that you were to lead your life comparing as you currently do. What if you kept on doing this throughout your life for the next few years? Imagine how would your life look like? How would your future life look like? And if you were to flip it, just suppose that you were to drop all comparison, or you were to compare in a manner to only benefit and learn from it. What would happen in your life? How does your life look like now? Which is a movie that you would want to make out of your life? Think about it. A few Alpha Life thoughts for you to introspect upon before we close. Who have you become while constantly comparing yourself with others? And who could you possibly become if you were to completely drop this comparing? Why is dealing with this comparison so important for you right now? How would you like to stop comparing absolutely in your life? And what steps would you like to take right now? Comparing is not the issue. The way it is done and the reason for which it is done is what brings in all that discontentment. People are meant to be different, and they are meant to lead different lives. Embrace this thought for your own self as well. Different is not bad. Different is great. The main issue behind comparisons are the metrics that you use to measure yourself. Now that is a topic that we will discuss in detail in one of the next upcoming episodes. Thank you for listening in. If you like what you're listening to here, please pay it forward, share it with people in your group, make their lives also better, help them to live their Alpha lives. Once again, welcome to your Alpha Life project.